Hey guys, I want to, oh my gosh, I did not mean to make this a live video. Oh God, this is a live video. Okay, so I just want to give you a few memory tips here. Or not memory tips, study tips. And one of the first study tips that I would tell you to do is that whenever you study, I did not mean to make this a live video, but whenever you study, when you're in your review, don't reread it. In other words, here's what I'm saying. Let's say you memorize something and it's a poem and it's a 20-line poem. After you've memorized it and you're in the review process, don't just read it again, because by reading it again, you're going to trick yourself into thinking, oh, hey, I know this. This is how you review. Memorize the poem and then look up and don't look at your paper and see how much of it you can recall. This is going to do a couple things. Number one, it's going to engage your brain in the review process. If you're just reading it over and over again, your brain is not engaged in the review process. But if you look up, it's engaging your brain. So your review is going to be stronger. The second thing that it does is that you're not tricking yourself. You're not fooling yourself. In other words, if you've just memorized a poem and you read it again in the review, you could trick yourself. You could trick yourself into thinking, okay, I really know this. And you really didn't. It was just that the answer was right there in front of you. So when you review, you've memorized it, look away and see how much that you can recall. That is an active review. The next thing that this will do is you will be able to spot where your trouble areas are. So see when you're reviewing, see what you're having trouble remembering and make a mark of it somehow. This is a trouble area. This is a trouble area. This is a trouble area. So the next time that you do your review, you focus in on those areas and you make that stronger. So that's one of the first memory tips that I could give you, the first study tips that I could give you. The next study tip that I would tell you is to use something called the Pomodoro technique. And the Pomodoro technique is where you will set a timer for 20 minutes and you'll study for 20 minutes and then you'll take a break. And you go out, do some push-ups, go for a walk, get a drink of water, open up the window and go outside. But that Pomodoro technique of studying in 20-minute segments, well, thank you, Ira30. Ira 30 Gaming, thank you for that. But studying in 30-minute segments is going to really, or 20-minute segments, it's really going to help you pay attention more when you study. And I would say that do this also. Get a notebook whenever you study. And every time you think of something that is not about studying, that you got to call somebody or you need to do this, you need to do that, write it down in your notebook and then get back to studying. By doing that, you're telling your brain, okay, hey, this is important. I'll do this later. I'm writing it down now so I don't forget about it, but I got to get back to studying. Because what happens a lot of times is when we study, something will pop into our head and then we'll start thinking about that. Hey, big brother, L, great. Sonny, how do you retain information for a long time? I'll come back to that in a second. How to retain information for a long time. That's a question I'll answer next. So you're studying. Hey, Fatima, how are you? So you're studying, an idea pops into your head. Write it down on a piece of paper. But then get back to studying, because what happens is we'll be studying and we'll get an idea and then we'll spend all the time on this idea and we don't study. So what we've covered so far, do an active review, not a passive review. In other words, don't just read it again. Study in breaks, 20-minute segments. Study with a notebook. Write down anything that you think of while you're studying that distracts you. And the next thing is you're interested in learning Japanese, Daniel. Okay, 1 second. Maybe I'll teach you how to count in Japanese here in a second. I will teach you how to count in Japanese in a second. The next is how do you retain information for a long time? By the way, this is only going to be a 10-minute video because I did not intend to go live. I kind of pushed the wrong button. How do you retain information for a long time? I memorized the United States Constitution last year, a year ago. It's 4,500 words. And the Constitution, the first part of it says, all legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in the Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and House of Representatives. The House of Representatives shall consist of members chosen every second year by the people of the several states, and the electors in each state shall have the qualifications requisite for the electors of the most numerous branch of the state legislature. And it goes on and on and on. How did I remember that a year later? This is what you have to do to put something in your long-term memory. You have to memorize it today. I just did a video called 176-year-old memory book on how to memorize historical data. Go look that one up after this. If you want to put something in your long-term memory, you memorize it today. You review it tomorrow. You review it the next day. You review it in a week. You review it in a month. The key to long-term memory is, number one, review. Think about it. And the next key to long-term memory, if you think about it, the answer will come to you. Can you remember a car accident you were in 20 years ago? Probably. 5 years ago? Probably. Can you remember that time that something really sad happened? Probably. Can you remember that time you felt so happy almost that you saw the person that you love for the first time? Probably. Why can you remember these moments? You can remember these moments because there is emotion tied to them. They're vivid, they're unique. The car accident had a lot of shock in it. So we remember things that have a lot of shock value, or that things that are emotional or scary. So when you want to remember something, you need to, number one, review it. But number two, create the story in your head that's very vivid and full of action and really clear and powerful. If you do that, it will stick in your long-term memory more. The next question was, how can you memorize stuff like Japanese? If you want to remember anything, you need to turn it into a picture. But more than just turn it into a picture, you have to attach it to something. So, let's take Japanese. Everybody imagine you're itching the top of your head. Itching the top of your head. Itching the top of your head. We take the word in Japanese for number one, which is ichi, and we attach it to the top of our head. Ichi for itching. Now I want you to see a knee on your nose. You're hitting your knee to your nose. Knee to your nose. Knee is two in Japanese. You take the Japanese word knee and you attach it to something. Your nose. Ichi. Knee. Imagine you open your mouth and the sun flies out of your mouth. Ah! Sunlight. Ichi. Knee. Sun. Sun is three in Japanese. Imagine a girl is running on your ribs. A girl is running back and forth. She is four in Japanese. Ichi, ni, sun, she. Imagine a green light, like a traffic light that's green. The light turns green and it's on your stomach. Green light. The word for five is go in Japanese. Ichi, ni, sun, she, go. You know, let's just stop there. Let's go to five. So if you want to remember anything, you turn it into a picture. Ichi, ni, sun, she, go. And then you attach it to something. Now, for numbers, you would just attach them to pieces of furniture or to your body or something like that. But for actual words, I don't know what the word for steering wheel is in Japanese, but whatever it is, I would create an image for it, and then I would imagine it on the steering wheel. I don't know what the word for bag, a sack, is in Japanese, but whatever it is, I would turn it into a picture, and then I would imagine it inside this sack. So if you want to remember anything, create a picture for it, and then attach it to something that reminds you of that word. Guys, I really appreciate all of you. How to memorize science texts. Well, it's the same way. you have to create words for the pictures. Hydrogen, you would imagine somebody saying hi. Helium, you would imagine a helium balloon. Carbon, you might imagine a car. Whatever you want to remember, create a picture for it and create a story for it. I'll do more of these live videos later. I did not intend to go live right now, but once I did, I wanted to fulfill it. So I appreciate all of you. And you know what? I appreciate your subscribes. Even if you're watching this video later, I'll read the comments later. So if you have any memory questions, comment on them. See what the questions is, and maybe I will come back later and do a video on that. So exactly what is the Memory Palace? Great question. I've already done a video on it. I will put a link to that in the comments. So just comment on this video, even if you're not watching it live, with all your memory questions, and I will answer them. Maybe I'll do a video, some more videos to answer your questions. I did not intend to go live, Daniel, but good to see you. I appreciate all of you. I love my subscribers. I appreciate all the thumbs up. I appreciate all the comments. I appreciate all the subscribes. I'm so glad you like the black belt course. Bojo, is that how you say it? I appreciate all you guys. I want to start giving you more information, and I want to try to put up more videos all the time, but I appreciate all of you. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great day.